Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome and thank you for joining. In today's tutorial, we are talking all about eyelashes, okay? I know that this is a bit of an anxiety-provoking topic for some people because it can be scary. Eyelashes can sense your fear. But today I'm taking you through the whole process of how I apply my lashes. I've been through quite a few lashes in my lifetime and I found that the way that I'm showing you in this video is the easiest, quickest, most efficient way to apply my lashes. So I have gone ahead on purpose with a bit more of a full and heavy lash. So if you are using lashes like Ardell Wispies, for example, or lashes that are a bit lighter and a bit easier to work with, this will obviously be a bit more of a breeze, but I'm showing you how I go ahead with full lashes just to show you how I really work with the lashes and how I apply them. So let's get straight into the video. I really hope that this helps. So one thing that helps to blend in your lashes really nicely with the falsies is curling your lashes. So I definitely don't do this every single time, but I find it really helps. So if you do have the time and if you want to do it, go ahead and curl your lashes first. I just kind of like chill here. And then obviously before we go ahead and apply our falsies, you add a coat of mascara. And today I'm using the I Love Extreme Curl and Volume Mascara. This is the one from Essence and I'm really enjoying this one lately. So I'm going to go ahead and coat my top and bottom lashes. And when I do this, I always make sure that I get very close to the root of my lashes, like as close as I possibly can, like almost blink right onto the wand so that there's a lot of product at the root of your lash, because that blends in very nicely with the falsies and you don't have this disconnect between the dark mascara on the lashes and your actual like lash eyeball area, if that makes sense. So for my false lashes today, I'm going to use a brand new pair, a pair I have not tried out yet. So this is from Eyelash Boutique and these lashes are in the style Premium 9. I find their lashes so beautiful and they're just very comfortable on the eye and they don't feel heavy. They have the most beautiful styles and they're a South African brand as well. So I'm going to go ahead and first trim these. So you always want to make sure that your eyelashes are fit for your eye. You do not, trust me, you do not want a long strip of eyelash on your tiny ass eyes. Promise you, I did that in the beginning of my makeup journey, but you slowly realize that you really do need to trim them and it makes a really big difference for the application purposes, and also it just looks a lot better. If you have really beautiful big eyes and a full lash strip fits on your eyes, God bless you, because that's beautiful. But for most of us, always trim your lashes or at least just check. When you take your falsies out of the tray for the first time, just be very careful. You don't want to bend the band or anything like that. So I like to take it from the end and then kind of very gently pull it off. You don't want to mess up the strip of the lash. That can mess you up for life, okay? So now when you trim your lashes, make sure that the lash that you are trimming is correct for whichever eye you're wanting to put it on. So I know this one will be for this eye because this inner corner is a lot less dense in the beginning, so that's how I know that this is for my left eye. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it on the end of the eye, so this side of the eyelash. Always trim from the end and not the beginning of the lash. And I'm just going to loosely put this onto my eye. Okay, I can see that I need to trim off this little chunky section over there, like that. I can't find my makeup scissors, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead with this dodgy pair. Let's see if that's a bit better. It's still possibly a little bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim another section off as well. Okay, that looks about good for me. You can also, as a reference of measurement, you can take your previous lashes that you've used a few times and measure it against this, but this was obviously a new pair and I'm too lazy to take out my other lashes, let's be very honest. So that is how I trim them. I'm going to go ahead and trim the other pair as well. Because I cut off two sections, well, two little chunks off of the first lash, I'm going to do exactly the same to this side. So now that we've done that, what I like to do is, because this is a brand new pair that I've never ever used, most of my eyelashes, I'm not going to lie to you, I wear them about 20 times. I take very good care of my lashes and I can reuse them tons and tons of times, and I don't need to necessarily do this step because they have been worn in. But for the sake of this video, because this is a brand new pair, I'm going to show you what I do. So I like to work with the lash band and kind of loosen it up a bit. So I just kind of wiggle it around and make a U shape or a C shape, however you want to see that. And you just wiggle it around just to get a bit of movement in there so that it's not so stiff and like when you apply it to your lash line. And then I'm going to go ahead and play around with this one as well. So now for lash glue, I'm using the Eylure Lash Fix Clear Finish strip lash adhesive. I like this one because it doesn't irritate my eyes. I also like the Ardell glue as well, but I find that this one actually works best. I always end up using this one, and I think that's also very important. You need to find a lash glue, like take a bit of time to find one that really works for you, that you'll use very often, because there's nothing worse than being allergic or getting itchy eyes from lash glue. So for me, this is the one that works. I apply a very light layer of glue. I think that's also a misconception, is that you need to put a lot of glue for it to stick and hold for the whole night. You really don't. A little bit goes a long way. So I'm just adding a very little bit. Is that English? So you're basically just painting the lash band, and what I like to do, you don't need to do this, but it makes me feel better, so I do it. I just add a little bit extra on the ends, on the inner corner and the outer corner. And then I sit here, I wait for this to dry, and I curl it into that C shape or U shape again, and just blow on it a little bit, wiggle it around. So I would say it's been about 30-40 seconds. You just want to wait for it to go tacky. I know a lot of people don't know when it is tacky, but I wait about 40 seconds, so that is good. Now what you do is you take your mirror and you look down. Don't do it like this, rather look down and come with your lash from this angle. It's a lot easier. I'm holding the lash kind of towards the end, and I'm just going to place this on my lash. So now I kind of chill, like take a deep breath, it's all good. And then you want to fasten the end of the false lash and close your eye to make sure that it's actually on at the end. A lot of people don't actually look to see that it's on. And just kind of pull it and press it into your lash line, pushing down. And then the last thing I do is I secure the inner corner. And this is where I find it's very important to move that lash band before you apply it, especially if it's brand new lashes, because I can feel that it fits my eye really nicely, and it already has that curve in it, so it fits on really nicely to my eye compared to if it was like a straight lash band, if that makes sense. And now what I do is I just push the lash into the lash line. You want to make sure the glue is actually on there. And then I take my fingers, or I have lash tweezers, but I actually prefer my fingers, and I just squeeze the lash band with my fingers as close to my natural lash as I possibly can. So once that's done and I know that it's dry, I just blink onto my finger and almost lift my finger a little bit upwards, because I want my lashes to stand up a little bit more like this. So you actually get more of a feel of what the lashes are. If the lashes are coming at you at a direction more like this, you don't actually really see what the lashes look like. You want them to, well, at least I do, I want them to look a lot more fluffy and a little bit more like perky. And sometimes, because it's a new lash band, exactly like what would happen now, I kind of hoped that this would happen so I could show you. It's kind of lifted in the front part because I probably took a little bit too long to secure the end because I'm filming a video. So I added a tiny bit of lash glue just to the front of the lash, and I'm just going to secure this down again because sometimes it does pop back up. And there we go, that is one eye done. Now for the next lash, we're going to do exactly the same thing we did on the other side. So I'm just adding a thin layer of glue, looking down into my mirror. Secure it at the end first. Look to make sure it's actually secured. And then pressing down. And then lastly, pressing down the inner corner and attaching that. The lashes are on, and now what I'm going to do, because these are brand new lashes and I kind of feel a little bit self-conscious about the inner corner, I sometimes do this, I don't always do this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to dip into a black eyeshadow. I'm just using this palette over here from For the Queens. This is the Iconic palette. I'm going to dip into this black shade with my Eylure 31T brush. This is just a very precise, like angled little brush. Connect the inner corner with a little bit of black eyeshadow to the false lash, just so that it blends in a little bit better and that we don't have any like harsh stop and start of black and then skin. So I don't know if you can see, but it just blends it in a lot nicer. What you can also do now is, if you do have any glue that is shining through, that could be for some reason on the top of your lash, you can always go ahead with this black eyeshadow and dab onto the lash strip so that you don't see any glue. So there you go, you can see it kind of hides it a little bit better, it just kind of blends together a lot nicer. If I'd known that this was going to happen, I obviously would have added the eyeshadow before I applied my lashes, but I'm going to be real with you guys, we sometimes don't know that these things are going to happen, so I'm showing you how I would do this and how I would react to this situation. So this might seem a little bit weird to people, but this really is honestly, openly and honestly what I do. I take my phone, open up Instagram and open up the camera. You can obviously do this with normal camera. I don't know why I do it on Instagram. Anyway, so I go ahead and I take a video. I'm going to press record now. And I'm just looking down. I'm opening my eyes, looking to the side, closing, opening them again. And then I look back at this footage just to make sure that the lashes look okay, because I've got this harsh light here and what I'm doing and what I'm seeing in this mirror may not be true to what is actually on my face. So I just have a look at this and make sure you close your eyes and open your eyes and you can get the look right over here, like from this angle into the inner corner, because that is definitely the problem area. And then obviously if there's anything that I see on here that I don't like, I go ahead and adjust it, or I'll take off my lash, reapply it, or add more black eyeshadow. So that is what I do. And then I go ahead and do the rest of my face, and then by the time the rest of my face is done, my eyelashes are dry and ready to go. Oh, and one thing I will say before you go ahead with the rest of the face, just make sure that you don't have any fallout from your mascara or anything like that, because that can happen when you are like tweezing your eyelashes and your falsies together. So always make sure that I go ahead and brush away anything that may have fallen down. And that brings us to the end of this video. I really hope that this was a helpful video for you guys. If you have any questions, I will definitely answer them in the comments. Like I said, I did go ahead with a bit of a more thicker lash and a lash that is a little bit more technical and you need to be a little bit more precise to apply. So I hope that that helped you. I hope that you learned something in this video. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Peace.